Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Now, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel to get these weekly content videos and so on. So, this week's video, like, oh my gosh, just you guys wait for this one. Now, May 16th to the 22nd, there's a lot of fated encounters. There's people from your past coming back. There's going to be signs about your destiny. So as we move into the super new moon, oh my gosh, like this week, you're really going to see where you're supposed to be. You're really going to see where your destiny is taking you towards, and so on. So, what happens whenever there's new beginnings, fated encounters, unexpected, expect the unexpected, sudden endings? This is all about resetting everything in your life that you're feeling is not working. So, as somebody comes back from your past, they're going to want a second chance. So, you could be like, ooh, who's that? Well, you're only going to have to find out. So, now look at what you guys really want right now. This is so important. Like, this month, May, it's so powerful, super, super powerful. What you're working on this month, you are going to see those results in 6 months. So make sure you watch my last video because I give out a lot of information about what's coming up in the next 6 months as far as where you are now compared to where you're going to go. So when you're seeing, and you will see even more, your destiny, with whom, and if you're by yourself, that's okay too, because you will also see, you know what, I want this. I don't want that anymore. So some of you already have been starting to work on your future projects. Your future projects you are starting now. Your creative projects, maybe some of you are moving, maybe some of you are changing your life in a really big way. So you're going to find that nobody's going to be able to stand in the way anymore of what you truly want. So it's like, I kept on hearing Roadrunner for some reason. I don't know why I'm hearing Roadrunner, you know? However, Roadrunners, you could get run over by a Roadrunner. Not literally, but life reset. So it's almost like, okay, we're going to remove all of these certain things in your life that's not working for you because you weren't paying attention. And we're going to bring in all of these new things for you. So this super new moon is really, really big. This new moon is in Taurus. So with this super new moon coming in on the 16th and 17th, whenever it's a super new moon, the energy is off the rocks. The energy is very high, and you're also going to be healing and letting go more because we still have that Chiron energy. So when we have that Chiron energy, we're facing old wounds, old memories, things sneaking up from the past that we haven't quite healed from. Face it, you're really going to see your partner in a whole different way. If things are like, wow, I know I'm with my person, things are going to flow really nicely. However, if you're like, wow, there's a lot of red signs right now, like there has been, you're going to pay attention to that even more because the energy is going to be so intense that you very well can be like, I can't do this anymore. I can't continue on. So lots of things are shifting under that force. New moon, you're going to see your worth more. You're going to be focused on your home, your beauty, your environment, you know, financially where you're at. Your nervous system could be a little off. So because whenever we're feeling, oh my God, change, your nervous system can go out of whack. Maybe you're ending a situation. Maybe your partner's going to say, sorry, this isn't working for me anymore. So it can throw our nervous system out. Your nervous system can feel energy, very sensitive. when something is going to change or when something's off. So it's all like connected with your gut instinct as well. Your soul is the instrument of your entire being. So you will feel off. Where you're feeling off, take a look at what's not working for you. But sometimes you're like, I can feel change. I'm not sure what's happening. Allow it, just surrender it, and you'll see where the change is taking you to. So you're going to really start setting more boundaries even more. You're not going to be able to handle who's training you anymore. You're going to be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Like could be jobs, could be with anything. So you're going to want to be more in stillness. You're going to be more, I just want to be at peace. I can't deal with the noises of the world or the noises in my environment. Really look back to 2018, if you can remember. Turning my fan on, it's a little warm. Um, 2018, of course, we're different. Years go on, look what's changed, of course. So there's a lot of cycles ending from 2018. So look at what was starting perhaps in 2018. Maybe there's an ending now going on. Maybe you're getting married or starting, an ending, start, end with something. You'll see that, especially with relationships and environments. Maybe some of you are like, yeah, we're moving away now. That dream that we once upon a time thought about, whatever it is, we're now going to make it happen this year. So there's a lot coming on right now, like you're not going to want to like prove yourself anymore. It's like, this is who I am. I don't need to prove who I am. I don't need to prove my worth. I don't need to prove this or this or this or that. If you start to have to defend yourself around certain people, those aren't your people. So you're going to see that even more. And you're also going to see why things have been delayed. It's like, wow, like this is taking forever with this. Why hasn't this happened? Delays are God's protection to redirect you. Yeah, but this, that. Life changes are really prominent right now this week, especially under this new moon. So really, really look at, where do you want to be in 6 months' time? What do you want to have completed in 6 months' time? I just started something new myself, a couple of days ago, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to see those results probably till about 6 months' time. And I'm like, oh, actually, that would put me right on target. So really pay attention to this, because it is taking you into your future. Really set some new goals, you guys, because, I'm always saying that, setting new goals. We can constantly set new goals. Like, there's people from your past coming back that are going to want a second chance with you. It could be a friendship that maybe you had a falling out with, maybe a job you applied for that they said no, and now they're going to, be saying, hey, we have a new opening for you. Maybe there's someone that you've had your eyes on or wanted to be with, and now they're coming back and they're ready to be with you. Or, I'm just saying, really pay attention, really pay attention. So if there's a lot of red flags on your current relationship right now, that's the universe saying, hey, we want you to end that, because there's someone else coming around for you that's much better. Maybe it's somebody had your eyes on the past, you gave up, and all of a sudden, boom, there they are. They're now single. They're now divorced. Divine timing. Hello. So really think, you guys, really, really pay attention to what's happening. Unexpected energy. What happens unexpected? Things, boom, change immediately. Reunions of all kinds. Because I haven't seen my friend in a few years. I'm getting really pulled to maybe travel to see them. Or all of a sudden I get a message from them. They could live close by you, and you're like, I haven't seen them for a long time or years. The longer you haven't seen someone, the more your life changes. So, even your connections that you meet this week, even new connections or certain connections that could be like, yeah, it's okay. That connection can turn into something huge in your future. So pay attention to new people you're connecting with. Pay attention to, why did I all of a sudden hear from that person? That could be your future. That person can take you into your future destiny with work, career, relationship wise, all kinds of things. So pay attention to where you're getting pulled to. I'm always saying that. Really pay attention to what direction am I getting pulled towards? That's your soul guiding you to move in that direction. So this moon is really powerful. New moons are more powerful than a full moon, but this is a super new moon. So it's going to be really big emphasis. Pay attention to your pets during this time. Pay attention to people that you're like, something tells me I got to call them or go see them. There's a more passings on a new moon than any time. I mean, passings, when people pass away, can happen at any time, of course. Life's very fragile. However, new moons, there's a lot more passings around that time. So we're also moving into Gemini season on the 21st. Happy birthday, Geminis. How many of you guys are Geminis? We all have different energies in our charts. There's people like, oh, I don't like a Gemini, let's say, for instance, but your person that you like actually could have Gemini in their chart. Oh, I didn't know. So seriously, you guys, you know what I mean? There's always the negatives and the positives, but there's also a lot of things that can work out. So let's talk about now moving into the 18th and the 19th. After that new moon, the new moon will shake you up. Like it could be very peaceful if you're right on track with things. If you've been letting things go, you're going to find that you have been more decluttering more. Even though I have a really big painting that I've had for many years, I'm actually looking at, I could sell that. I'm just clearing out a lot of certain things from the past that I want to start new. I want to see new things. So, I'm actually going to be putting that up for sale. I'm not giving that away. I can tell you that. I'm not. I mean, who knows? I could, but I doubt it. I doubt that very much. But so I am going to be selling it. It'll be put in on marketplace and stuff. So just pay attention to things like that. Decluttering. It's like, yeah, I just want to clear out the old. The past is the past. Let's move on to the new. You're going to feel that even more. You have been feeling that for a while. Maybe some of you are like, yeah, I gave everything away, or we sold everything. We're moving and we're going to buy in new stuff, fresh new memories, new beginnings. Yes. If you're able to do that, 100, I would do the same thing. If I was able to, believe me, I would do the same thing. I've given so many things away. I actually could have had a down payment on a house, like on a really nice home. But it is what it is. So you're going to be more creative. So really pay attention to your projects right now. It could be renovations. It could be like anything creative because you're going to be more focused. You're going to be more determined. You're going to be looking more at your priorities during this time. You're going to be focused on more of what's important to me right now. What do I truly need to get done? So you're going to be communicating more with people, family and friends. Always speak from your heart. Always speak from your heart. No matter if you have to have that difficult conversation with someone, wait till you're calm first and have that open communication, because that's when fated reunions. You very well could hear from somebody from your past on the 18th and the 19th. The chemistry could be like, oh my gosh, the chemistry is off the chart. Wow. It could be very exciting. It could be very exciting. So, but pay attention who you're connecting with. Really, you're going to see more synchronicity. If you've been clearing out things, if you've been, letting go of things that are just not good for you anymore, if it's relationships, people, patterns, all those things, signs are going to be showing up everywhere right now, like literally everywhere. Like I have a certain number. It's very different. It's not like a 111 number. And even the other day, and I'm like, God, like that number, it's very unique. And I'm like, it, I'm not sure exactly, it's a confirmation for me, yes, but it's like there's more of a specific, profound meaning to that number. And I'm like, for God's sakes, is that where I'm supposed to be? Like that, because I was watching this movie by the other way, and thank you, Paula, by the way, of recommending this movie to me. Um, and that number showed up, after the movie, and I'm like, what? And there's also a sign in that movie, by the way. And I'm like, what? So I was like, even last night, I'm like, there's that number again. Like, so I'm like talking to one of my friends, one of my best friends that had passed on, Terry, and I'm like, for God's sakes, Terry, like, is that where I'm supposed to be? Like, geez, give me a sign. And he came in my dream last night, but I don't remember it. So if you don't remember a dream, don't worry about it as much, because you will remember what's really important. But it's like, talk to your loved ones that have passed away. You might have found that just recently you've had more dreams of your loved ones coming in with different signs. Like even with my number, believe me, it's like when we face certain fears, it can be liberating, completely liberating. And that number is a certain fear for me as well. So it's like, oh my God, it can get confusing, but listen to your gut instinct as well with this. You could see those signs. Like I'm always like spirit, like just give me a huge sign. I want a huge physical sign, a huge confirmation. Because if we're scared, the fear, as I just mentioned, you're not going to see clarity. When we start facing our fears, either you're going to be like, oh, this wasn't for me, or oh my God, why didn't I do this years ago? I always remember somebody telling me, who was a reader many, 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 many years ago, you're going to say when you get there, why didn't I do this years ago? Things happen for a reason, of course, but all of these kinds of things are going to be coming back into play this week. That's why I brought this up. So you're really going to see more clarity, your relationships, more romantic. We have our soul tribes and different relationships with friends or family or whoever, but you're going to see that more so with relationships. I mean, I'm not in a relationship myself, but who knows? Maybe there's somebody from the past coming back or whatever like that. But you don't need to get involved with somebody from your past. Again, I'm just saying, if it feels right, look at it, because we're not in Mercury retrograde. Starting a new relationship, Mercury retrograde is not the time. However, right now during this time would be to do that. But just be careful what decisions you're making, because we still have a lot of karma going on. So you might even find on the 20th and 21st, Gemini season starts, of course. A lot of news could be coming in that's unexpected. Unexpected news can be really good. Really, it's because it's a lucky day. Lucky charms, you know, lucky charms. I'm hearing lucky charms. Lucky charms from East Ireland. Oh my gosh, maybe it's an ex from Ireland. My ex from Ireland. I don't think so. I don't think I'd hear from him, but anyways, but lucky charms. It's a really good lucky day. Maybe you're going to get a confirmation that day. You got the job, winning a lotto, or like whatever it is. Just be really open to the opportunities that present itself to you that day. It's always the pros and the cons of any new opportunities we get, because you're going to see more clarity. You will see more clarity. And it's especially important that day to distance away from negativity as much as you can. Drama, negative events. There's so much negative events in the world as it is, right? But it's all about, I can't deal with this person today. They're just so negative or toxic or whatever. Just distance time so you can see more clarity and make your decision more, because you're going to be more honest with yourself. What do I want? What direction do I really want to walk towards? What do I want in my life? What are my dreams? Don't dismiss that and push that aside. You're going to get more of that pull. You're going to feel more inspired during this time. Creatively, yes, you're going to be more chatty communication, you know, but you very well could be like, I'd really like to learn about this, like whatever it is. You could take up a new course of study. You could be open to hearing what somebody has to say, learn more from someone, really get, certain things. I'll be all of a sudden, I want to study this or I want to learn about that. And I started doing the notes and everything like that. And all of that. It was something that I never thought I would ever be interested in, but I started to get interested in it about 6 weeks ago. So there could be certain things that maybe I'm going to buy a book on it. Maybe I'm going to take a course. Maybe I want to educate myself more in this location that I'm moving to, let's say, or like, anything like that. Just really pay attention to that right now. Because as we move on the 22nd, we get towards the 22nd, you're going to really see who's truly meant to be with you, which means maybe that person, past person, reunions coming back. Maybe that's your person. Maybe you have to end a relationship that you're like, oh, I can't do this anymore because new doors are opening. We can't go into a new door when we're still connected in a past situation. You have to end a relationship in order to start a new one, but make sure you're healed from it. You've reflected back on lessons, or else you're bringing in all of these unprocessed emotions and baggage into a new relationship that's not going to work because you're just going to compare, you're going to judge, all of those things. So you very well could be seeing your soulmate during this time, which means that if you're in a relationship, the only way to be with the next person is to end that. Maybe you're seeing your partner, the person that you're with, that you're like, I don't know if this person is the one or whatever. Maybe you're finally going to see that, you know what, this is my person. This is my person. I can see that. I can clearly see, let's say, the other person who I wanted, that's not my person because I'm seeing this now. The universe is going to be redirecting you all over the place. That's why sudden expect the unexpected. The universe is like, no, we don't want you on that path. We don't want you with this person. Boom, things suddenly changes. This is a very life-changing move. This month is a very big month because we have 3 moons, 2 full moons and a new moon. One of them is a super duper one. Oh, I'm just saying, this is a very powerful week. You're going to really be releasing your past. No matter, take a look at what you started on the 1st of May, on that full moon. What did you guys start, or what did you want to start? This new moon is going to show you where you're at if you've started that. And if you're like, oh my God, I didn't start that, take advantage and start that now on the new moon. Take advantage of, wow, I need to change this. Wow. You don't have to be perfect. Even something I'm working on is going to be like, it's not easy at all. There's a lot of emotion in it, but it's like the only way we're going to see certain changes with certain situations is to make it happen. If there's so many roadblocks, let's say, maybe it's just not that path. Maybe that's not the right timing. So pay attention to what is working and what is especially not working. Very fated week, you guys. You're going to be releasing a lot of the past, like I just mentioned, like my picture, for instance, right? And I'm like, wow, I love that. I love that painting. A lot of people do, but I could let it go. I could really let it go. So we'll see if that happens. I'm not going to give it away. I can tell you that. I won't. I won't. So let's just pull a couple of cards. I don't use cards, of course, when I'm with anybody. I'm a psychic clairvoyant medium. You can book a reading with me through my new website, you guys, soulworkwithjenij.com. I mention that in every video because, some people might not be aware of it. And then, where's your old website? Are you not doing? Of course, I'm doing readings. I always will do readings, even if I won millions of dollars, let's say, I would still always be doing my readings. That's just who I am. So let's find out the message from the 16th to the 22nd. What's happening? What's the message from the spirit world? Right away, the card came down, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Yes. You know how I said you're going to be setting more boundaries this week? Set boundaries with who's draining you, who's taking you for granted. I can't do this. No, I need time for me. No, this isn't going to work for me. No, I'm not going to continuously doing that for you. Like all of these things, it's like a job, let's say. If we allow our job to continuously take advantage of us or take us for granted, they're going to continue, right? If you're in a relationship, the same thing. Anything like that, pay attention. I'll turn my phone off at different times. It's just like, wow, like I need a break here. I just need time for me, even if it's sitting back doing nothing, let's say, or whatever it is that you guys want to work on. So I'm going to actually pull another card from the same deck. I just heard this. Pull another card. So what is the message for collectively? And let me know if any of these cards resonate with you guys. Like my channel. Make sure you subscribe to it. 16th to the 22nd. What is the message collectively for the universe, for us? Message. I'm seeing a raccoon for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm seeing a raccoon. I'm an animal communicator too. So 16th. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Yes. Maybe some of you guys have like addictions of being online all the time, or gambling, or drinking, or like, well, whatever it is, pay attention to, because some people get really addicted to social media, let's say. Addictions can come in any way, shape, or form. So it's like, what's taking up your time? What's holding you back? What's causing delays for you? Like I just, my heart goes out. I'm not going to mention a name, but her partner has so many different addictions, like not just one or two. One of the addictions that he has is he gambles a lot, and that he just lost the house because of his gambling problem. So what happens? That affects his life. That affects people's lives. His partner's like, I'm done. That was it. That's it. Not only does he have like a drinking problem, he has a gambling problem. He also has all of these other things. There's help out there, you guys. Like our addictions are coming from we're not happy with something. So we reach out to something that we feel that can numb the pain. If it's gambling, oh, I'm going to win millions of dollars, or like whatever. So I'm going to pull this deck. Like I heard a raccoon. Like, I don't know, maybe a raccoon will come down. So I'm going to use one of my animal decks here. The 16th of the 22nd. Like destiny brings new beginnings for you guys. Maybe you're gonna like, oh wow, I've been working really hard on this project, and now all of a sudden I'm seeing the rewards, and now that new door opened for me for this. No, it's not no raccoon, but it's a giraffe. Aspire to higher knowledge and wisdom, Archangel Jophiel. So remember how I was talking about you could very well get drawn to study, learn, educate yourself on the 20th or 21st. Listen to the giraffe. Pay attention to what you want to learn. Maybe it's an art class. Maybe you want to educate yourself on a certain subject, or a certain person, or doing research on something. When I'm looking at making certain things, what do? I have to do research and make some calls and inquiry, or go online and find out different things. So let me know what happens this week, you guys. Let me know what really unfolds for you. So if you want to book a reading with me, by all means, soulworkwithjenij.com. Namaste.